Hi, it's Louise from WelshBunnies.com here with my 6th Project Life video. Hope you like it. So here we are with my 6th Project Life video, and I'm doing week 6 of 2015. And let's just put these pictures out. I'll put this one here. That's of my husband's parents who came to visit. There's this one, which is a very odd photo, Christmassy one, and it goes with this one. I'll be using both of these on the same 6x4, cutting this down, put this on the side. And this is when my daughter insisted on dressing up as both with the Sans hat and the Flash costume from DC Comics. I think I'll put that one there. This is just a little thing, and I found this online and printed it out just on photo paper. It's just a little poster type thing of a thing called Ingress, which is sort of like a computer game you play in real life, which my friend has been really into. So I thought I would so I'm putting this one. So I've got 2 pictures of my cats, so I'm going to put them on either side, because this one is pulling the focus in and this one's putting the focus in that way. And then I've got these 2, they're smaller than 3x4s. I cut them out of the card and they'll be going on one together, so I might put them down here. I got this picture of me. I'm about to go for a jog for like the first time since moving here, or in years anyway, and just to record that. I'll put this one here. I think that's just, and I'll do this quite a bit. I do this with Picasa. I will take so this is almost like a sequence of my youngest daughter and her grandfather, and there are 3 different pictures taken very close together, and I'll trim them down so that they all fit on one picture. And here's a picture of my husband with, he's carrying Lizzie on his back in a little baby backpack, and Naomi was feeling very upset that day. She had a bit of a cold, and so he was being forced to carry her everywhere as well, so he was carrying all of the babies. There's a picture of gaming, and there's a picture. So this week has a lot of pictures, as you can see. I might end up putting this one here and having that as the empty one. And then I've grabbed the colour schemes I want for this week are green and red. There's a lot of green and red around. And then yellow and black, a nice strong black to anchor those colours. So I've taken out some 3x4s, and this is black ones, red ones, green ones, and yellow ones. And I also I bought Simple Stories Snap Collection Cats, and so here are some cat themed 3x4s, because I knew there was going to be pictures of cats. Now in my collection of 3x4s, I keep them in this really useful brand Tupperware box, and if I just tilt that you might be able to see there is black ones, multicolored ones, baby themed ones, and there's cat. So I actually keep all my cat themed ones in their own separate spot. House is not a home without cats. Meow, etc. So if I've got particularly themed cards, I will keep them not by colour, because I keep all my cards by colour, but I will keep them by theme. So here's baby themed, so 1 month old, when they first rolled over, just slept through the night, all that sort of thing. So I've got baby theme cards and cat theme cards. I keep them by theme if it's something like that. I've got these cards, and I have these 6x4 cards that I took out of my collection as well. And this is the sort of week where I might end up taking out one of these pictures if I don't like how it looks, so I think it looks too many photographs. I'm happy to do that. Right, so the first thing I know I want to do is use this to be the week card. It's got all the colours represented on here: green, yellow, red, but then there's this blue arrow. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. Let's push this out of the way. And it's a plain black piece of 6x4. This is just a plain black one. Oh, I'm having a bit of difficulty with the focus on the camera for some reason. Let's see if it can pick it up now. There we go. I'm experimenting with a new light setup to see if it bleaches it out. So we'll just carry on with experimenting until I've got it all figured out. So I will grab from my supplies my corner rounder to round the corners of the black piece of card. Let's chop that down. And then I will grab my little toolbox. As I've shown on before, I got this from IKEA. I use it to have all my readily used tools in here, and then if I'm stop working halfway through a week, I can just put this in here. Sometimes I'll keep embellishments I'm working on for a week, or a project. If I'm doing a mini book, I'll keep all my selected washi tapes for that mini book there. So I'm going to grab my craft knife, and I keep a small, this is just a small kitchen chopping board that I keep with my supplies, and I use it when I'm cutting things out. And I'm literally just going to very quickly cut out this arrow, and then I'll put this on the black. Card, and then this one card will have all 4 colours of the week on it. And I knew that I wanted to do this when I took the card out of my supplies. I thought I'll just whip out the blue arrow as fast as you like and put this on some black. There we go. Now, I think looking at this, I want to chop this off and have more black. So I'll just line this up to take away most of the black. There we go, and then see how that looks. Now, as I'm always sort of whistling on about in these videos, if I don't like something when I'm doing it, I'm happy just to abandon something and try something else. No, this looks not what I wanted it to look like. So what I'll do is I will chop out the yellow, green and red arrows and put them straight onto the black and see how I think that looks. So I'll just quickly chop out these and then I can come back and show you what I'm fiddling with once I've chopped them out. So while I was off camera, I cut out the 3 arrows and I placed them on here, and it looks awfully plain to me just onto this straight black card. So I've picked a background stamp. This it's a distressed, you see there, a distressed polka dot print, and I'm going to use some white ink on that, and this is a very good white ink. It is Hue Arts dye ink. There we go, dye ink. Hero Hues, dye ink, and whites. And I will unpick this. Now I'm going to put this on here. Load this up with some white ink. There we go. And rather than put this up, I'm actually just going to lie this down on top. And then just rub over it with my hands. This gives me a better result, honestly, than when I do it the other way around. I'll lift this up and hopefully it'll be good. And there we are, a nice polka dot back print. Just pop this stuff to the side. Now I grab these arrows. I'm gonna stick them down again. There we go. I much prefer how that looks as to how it looked on the plain black. And for the week, I've got these Mistables. You can see that. Mistables. Now I use them with my gelatos. And what I'll do is first I'll stick down these arrows. As quick as you like, I'll just use my this roller strimmer. There we go. Stick this one down. And put. Just make sure that seems straight to me. There we go. This one. Just go like this, and the last one. See, probably get away without gluing the whole thing, but just gluing 3 or 4 spots in there. And line this up straight. Like that. So there we go. That is very much how I was hoping it would look. Struggling a little bit with getting these looking straight. There we go. Now I grab these resistance Mistables. If I can get them out of the packaging. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick down. These are thickers where they've got like a plastic sheen in a certain design, which means that although they are white, if you colour them in, they will retain a white portion and the rest of it will be coloured. So I'm going to pop these down here, I think. Now where do I want them? Do I want them to be lined up with this instead? Yeah, I think that looks cooler. And I can put the dates along the bottom here. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I will grab my gelatos. Week 6. I'll grab my set of gelatos and I will do this in the same colours as the week and the arrows above. So here's my gelato collection. I'll pick a red, a sort of yellow, this is a sort of pale orange, but I think it'll come up more, and a green. And I'm just going to put the colour straight onto here. Oops, accidentally got some on the E there. This will be yellow, this will be green, so this will be red. Now it looks awfully messy now, but once I have got out my paintbrush, should be fine. Got this one in green, this one in sort of yellowy orange. There we go, that all looks great. And now I will grab my water brush, and then I can just quickly go over this. I think the important thing when you're working with this is that you need a piece of kitchen roll really to wipe off the excess. And this is, I think, because of how this is going, it might be quite a subtle white in the background. There we go. There we go. Just move the colour a bit more around on that. There we go, week 6. And I'm going to grab I don't have any kitchen roll with me, which would be a more suitable thing to use, but I do have these baby wipes. So I will use this baby wipe to dab off, sort of to wipe the whoops, accidentally put some red on there. What it does is it wipes off all the paint off the plastic portions and just leaves you with the ink on the non-plastic portions. So I think that the red ones have come out really nicely, but that the green and yellow ones not so much. So I might just go straight over here with more red and fix that, because they look really washed out in the other colours. There we go. Use my brush to spread the colours all around these. There we go. And as I say all the time, if something's not working for me, I just fiddle with it until I'm happy. And often that is just totally veering off plan almost the moment I finish. Nope, don't like how that looks. Just to get rid of the remaining pigment on these water brushes, I just brush it against my hand until the tip of the brush is clean. Pop that away. And then I will wipe the colour off here. So just leaving it with the pigment on the back. There we go. There we are, week 6. Now I'm going to put the date in here, and if I can remember the date for it, what does it say on my... Okay, so it says January 27th, so I'm going to believe that's right, and then it would be to February the 2nd, wouldn't it? Monday the 27th, Tuesday 28th, Wednesday 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, 31. Maybe it's the 1st. Maybe it's February the 1st. Yeah, I think it's January 27th to February the 1st. Okay, so February the 1st, because I'm going to go backwards. February the 1st. I'll ink this up nice and good. And I'll pop this here. Now you can't see it at all on there. You just can't see it. So what I'm going to do is, and I've done this before many times on using this particular So it's a lovely white ink stamp, but it's not perfect. Stamp it on, and then I'm going to go over it with my really, really impressive white pen, which is a Uniball Signo Broad white pen. And sorry, I'll just get my head out shut, I'm always putting it in there. So I go over the lines that I can just see it ever so faintly here. 27. Oops, being a little bit tricksy. So just go over it like that. And I'll see how I think this looks. Yeah, I think that looks alright. This is end up slightly scruffy, so since it's got a black background with white ink, I can just tidy it up by using a bit of black ink. Whoops! Head in the shot again. Black ink to tidy it up a bit. There we go. And that is this card finished. And I'll pop it down and I'll see what I feel like I want to do next. Oops. Pop all these bits away. Tidy up as I go along, so I don't get into a real... I come from Scotland and we call it a real búrach. It's a good Scottish word for you there. So this one is going to go here. Now, already I'm thinking there are too many photos. So I really like this photograph, but I think I'm going to abandon it for this week because I really like the idea of using this predominantly red card up here. Now, I actually tried to use this in a previous Project Life, which is why it's got a little geotag pointing down. And so I'm going to put a picture I really like directly underneath this geotag, which is this one. Go like that. And there we are. That looks nice to me. This picture is going to stay as it is. Now this picture, I've got quite a lot of red on here. I think I'm going to put this on green. I have a bit of green here. And so I can just pop these on here. There we go. Some lovely, lovely photographs. I cut them down smaller than 3x4, so they should both fit nicely on there. And I'm going to round the corners and mat these photographs next. So I'll come back once I have rounded and matted all of this. So here we are. I've got my green background 6x4 and my two matted pictures, and I'm just gonna pop these right on like that. Just a bit of glue. Great thing about this ATG gun is that the glue is super sticky, so you don't need too much of it. Like this. There. Now I like the idea of having a piece of washi tape running along here, maybe in red, and then a little journaling stripe going over the top of that. So I will see what washi tape I have. Now this is quite a dark red. I'm not sure if it's going to go with the rest of the colour scheme, which is a more vibrant red. No, it looks, this is really more of a winey crimson red than a soft medium red. Yeah, this is quite a dark red. So let's see what else I've got. I've got this nice lace pattern red, and that's in the proper colours of sort of medium red. If I can find the end of it. Sometimes finding the end of these washi tapes can be quite tricky. There we go. And just tear the edge off. Although actually I think I'll just be going straight across like that. I'm going to fold those edges over. Now I'm going to cut out a nice big banner, thin but long. So here is a very palely patterned, it's a diamond print. You might not be able to pick that up on the camera maybe. It's a yellow with white diamond print. I grab it from my collection and I'm just going to cut out a 4x6 strip, which is what I often do, and then grab a 6x4 because I might want one for this spread out layout for this spread, whatever. Spread out project layout, I don't know. And I'm going to cut out a 3x4 because I know I want a 3x4 for an idea I've got for a different card. Now let's grab this 6x4 actually, and despite the fact I said I might use it, I'm just going to cut off a 1/2 inch, no, 3/8 strip like that, and then using my detail scissors I'm going to cut. I just make a little snip in the middle, and then I just cut from each corner into the snip to make a banner end. And then I'm gonna have it, because it's going to be on the left hand corner, I'll have this coming in from the right like this. So where is my glue and my journaling pen? Glue, journaling pen. Now what I'm almost certainly going to do is, to finish this up, I'm going to look for a little black embellishment. Lay that over the top like that. There we go. I'm not sure what the embellishment's going to say. I'll have a think about that before I finish up. But I'm definitely going to be putting embellishment here, and it's going to be a black one. So I'll have a think about what embellishment I think would look nice there. I might just grab my scissors and cut out some of the lawn fawn hearts that I use on a lot of my layouts, but I'll have a think about that. Now, if I bring back the board so you can see where we're up to, I've got a journaling and embellishment to put on this card. This card's finished. Now I think I want to put in this card here, but all this white is not ideal because this is cream here and there's not a lot of white. There's cream on this card, or there's a bit of white on there as well, but this card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the cat and the heart, and I'm going to stick those pieces onto the yellow, the same yellow that I just used to make that strip, and then I'm going to mat that on some green, and I've grabbed some polka dot green, this mid green, from my collection, and I grabbed it because it's the right colour, but also it's the polka dot, which means it matches, because the weak card has got this polka dot background, so that matches nicely. So let's do that next. So I'm going to grab my strimmer again. It always gets a lot of use, my strimmer. Whiz this through. Make a 3x4 card. And then corner around the edges. And now I also want this yellow piece. I want there to be a small mat of the green polka dots. So I probably want to take this down by 1/4 of an inch. Let's see if that works. I can always trim it down further if I think it would look better that way. There we go. You can just see the polka dot band in the background if I go like that. I think we might want to make it just a smidge smaller. So I'm just going to take it down by another 1/8 of an inch. The good thing about this strimmer is it's quite easy to reliably do that because the markings on it, you can just whiz out another 1/8 of an inch if you like. Yep, there we go. That's how I like it. Corner around the edges. Now this yellow is going on to mid green. That's just not enough of a contrast. There's not enough contrast going on there between the two colours to ensure that it stands out nicely. So I'll grab my Distress ink and my Distress ink dauber, fluffer, I don't know, and ink up the edges so that the yellow stands out nicely against the green. Now I don't ink everything, I just ink things that I feel like need to stand out a bit more. And sometimes if something looks like, you know, I'll just add it if I think it needs to be inked. There we go. It's a very nice effect as well, the inking. And now all I have to do now is cut out this picture. Now I'm not cutting out the whiskers. I'm not cutting those out. I'll just redraw them on in black pen once I'm done roughly where they were. So I'm just going to cut out this cat face. And then I'll cut the heart out as well. Now this is one of my favourite things to do, is to take a card that has 1 or 2 of the elements in it and switch it up, give it a mat, just cut it out of the piece and put it onto a different background entirely, and then it contains all of the colours of my layout, or most of the colours of my layout, on one card. I really like how that ties it all together. It's what I like the look of. Now because this is matte, because this edge is inked on the yellow, I'm just going to ink up this little red hearts, because then it'll match the inking on the yellow, and the yellow to red isn't a huge contrast either. There we go. This needs a little bit more inking on top left, I think. There we go. And now I can glue this all down. So I'll just glue on the yellow piece with some the ACD gum. Oops. There we are. It's about square. And then I can glue these pieces on with just this little trimmer. This might be the sort of thing that I would glue on with my two-way tool tip normally, but this is sort of run out basically. So I've ordered some more, and hopefully that'll arrive before the end of the week perhaps. There we go. And then just put a bit of glue on here. Stick it above there. Now, just going to grab the remaining bit and see where the whiskers want to go. So I'm going to go here and here. I'll just quickly mark on where they were in the original picture. So now you can see I've used that to mark on where the original whiskers started, just on the edge. You can see there. And now I will just quickly draw them in. And they were quite thick, and this isn't too thick, so I'll just draw it on. There we go. And that is this card done. very cute. It's a very cute picture. Right, let's bring this back. Sometimes I bring it back and forth a lot and see how it looks. You know, I'll each step of the way I'll look at it and see how it's pulling together. Sometimes I'll just do lots of work. So this card is really easy. I'm just going to round the corners of it and leave it as it is. Now Ingress is a game you can play on your smartphone, and there's just it's a really cool picture. And I'm going to do some journaling on the back. It's a game that my friend got us into. You go to statues and monuments and churches, and there are imaginary portals there, and you can press a button to hack them to get items and capture them for your team. There's the Resistance, but Resistance is futile, and Enlightened is the way that you should go. I play the Enlightened side. It's a really good just little game. It gets you out walking, and I found that playing the game, it's certain little sculptures or little historical things are tagged that I hadn't noticed. So it's helped me to find some more interesting things in my town. And it also helps you to get a bit more exercise, a bit more walking. So that's also good, obviously. It's always good to do a bit of walking. So I'm going to do some journaling on the back of that, but otherwise that's finished on the front and what I want to be on display. It's not particularly secretive journaling that I want to do on this. There's nothing secret about it. It's just that I think this looks really good as it is. So I'm going to put the journaling on the back. Because I don't want to spoil this by putting a tab on or a label and putting some journaling on, because I think it's a very stylish card just by itself, and I don't want to make it less well designed and change the proportions of it by putting my embellishments on there. So I'm doing the journaling on the back, not because it's hidden or I don't want people to read it, but because I like how that looks. Which is one reason to do journaling on the back of a card rather than the front. If you want something to say, and it's not that it's secret, you just don't want to mess up how the card looks by putting some journaling on it. Right, and I know that I want to do this card, something with this card, and I want to do something with this card. So if I look at what colours, I think I'm going to want to mat this on yellow, and I probably won't be matting this. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to be matting this on yellow, and as soon as I looked at this, these two pictures, I'm going to chop this down to be a square first off. So I'll take 1 inch off either edge, and that will make it a 4x4. And I'll grab this lovely yellow paper I had earlier. I'm not super efficient with my supplies. I suppose I could plan things more carefully so that I don't create too many scraps. But I'm in the very fortunate position that I've accumulated a lot of supplies over the last 8 years that I've been scrapbooking. So I don't have to be super duper careful about, you know, making my supplies stretch, because I've been slowly accumulating different things over many years of doing scrapbooking. So there we go. Now I think this is just, if I can get them both on here. I don't like how this looks. I'm just trying to decide why I don't like how it looks. I feel like it would be better if it had a nice black mat on it, but there's not enough room, so I'm going to chop these down to be smaller. Now with these kind of pictures it's quite tricky to chop them, and I might find that if I take off, say, you know, half an inch, it then makes the picture not work as well. There's not enough. See, that might work, or it might not. And I'm happy to just say, well, I couldn't make this card work, and not scrapbook it, unless it's a card I really, really love, in which case I'll print it out again and make it work. But I think that still works. And then so obviously we want this one. We want to keep the hat intact, so we'll just chop off a bit of the bottom. And then obviously I left a lot of this side. There's nothing on this side because I knew that I was just going to be tucking it in behind. So this is looking much better to my eyes, but I'm going to round the corners and mat these on black. I'll just bring that up so you can see. I'll round these corners and mat them on black and then come back. So here we go. They've been matted, so I'll just stick them down. Now I'm just deciding how to add my journaling to these photos. Oops. Glue and a bit on there, doesn't matter. Just deal with that. There we go. I actually prefer to have this one on top. Oops, this little glue's got somehow stuck to the front of that photo. There we go. And now, just deciding how I want to add some journaling on here. Now that this is, I could add it here. It's a little tag on maybe a bit of green. Let me just cut some green out. Stick it on there. I will chop off what, half an inch, maybe half an inch. There we go. Half an inch, because I've already got a banner piece with that banner edging. I'll just do the same on this one. So just snip into the center and then snip from the edge in. Let's quickly make a banner edge. And I think what I might do is use the same embellishment on here as I'm going to use on this card. So whatever embellishment I choose here, I'll put here as well when I decide what that is, and then stick some journaling on. Stick this down. There we go. So I've just got to pick some embellishments and then do the journaling on this one. Done. There we go. And then we have this card. Now, I think I can afford to cut a tiny bit off the edge and a tiny bit off this edge, and it'll still be fine. We won't lose anything from the photos, and then I can put it on a very small mat. So if I take off 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to be matting this on green perhaps. 1/4 of an inch off the bottom as well. So I will grab this green again, and it will look fine where it is in the layout. And there isn't tons of green in this layout. It's mainly used as a matte, actually, the green. It's not the red and the black, and the yellow is much more obvious so far. So we'll see how it ends up being at the end. Now I wanted to use green because I think that will go nicely with the sort of beigey yellow in the photograph at the bottom here. So here we go, a nice matte. So now I want to go maybe 1, 2, 3 on the picture, because it is sort of a sequence of photographs. So I will stick this down first off, and then I will be looking for some little thing that I can put on each of these. So I went to get the stickers I was thinking of, but once again, these don't have numbers. I'm always making that mistake. I think I'll use those lovely basic greys for numbering, but they don't have numbering. So I grabbed this for my collection. It's Lily Bee, really small print, and it does have numbers. I haven't ended up using these a lot since I bought them. I also went into my collection and got these. They're little acetate, transparent coloured stars. And I'm gonna just pour out the whole bag, and I think they come in yellow. Get my head out of the way. So here's one in red and one in yellow, and they even have one in sort of black. Now I might choose to have one of these be bigger, so I'll grab all the different sizes. Now these would be good embellishments for those places I mentioned earlier. Yeah, those would be great. Grab a big one of these. They even do them in smaller. Alright, so I'm going to keep the rest of these to the side because I may end up using some more of that in the journaling. But now that I've found them, I'm going to stick one here and one here. I might do the red here. I think it'll look better in the black actually. Yep, and it matches better. So to stick these on, I'm just going to press them against the edge of my ATG gun, and that will pick up a bit of the ATG gun, and then that will firmly stick these down. There you go. So all that's left now is journaling. So stick this just on the end. So I just put the embellishment on the glue at the end of my ATG roller, pull it off, and then there's more than enough stickiness to stick it down. That's what I do with a lot of little embellishments. There we go, that's this one done apart from the journaling. And now here we go. So we want to stick one and a bit of journaling, two and a bit of journaling, and three and a bit of journaling. Okay, so I'm going to stick these down just like I did the other ones. So stick this one here. Remove that extra bit there. And then this one also gets glued down. If I could just fold, because when I do it this way, some extra glue goes over the edges and you just fold it back in. No problem. There we go. Stick that one. And I'm going to not put this on the same line, it's going to be a bit lower. And then the red one is going to be a bit higher again. Oh, I've lost the medium-sized red one and ended up with just a small red one. So I want it to be all matching. So let's grab a medium red one from the pile. There we go. Put that on there. So they're all at very slightly different levels. They're not fully even on there. Whoops. There we go. So if I bring this right up, you'll see how the glue has just ended up over the edge of the embellishments. Here we go. You can just see the glue on the top right is over the edge, and I just fold it in to, which means that none of the glue is overlapping the corners. And there now you can see none of the glue is overlapping the corners now, and then I stick it down. And now I'm going to go stick a 1 next to this star. 1, 2, and 3. So there we go. We've now got 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do some journaling on these before I call this one finished. But I'm done aside from the journaling on this card. Now let's have a look with where we're up to. We're almost sort of done now. We've got to do journaling on here, journaling on here, journaling on the back of this one, and some journaling on here. So now we've got 2 places in the layout. These 2. So I'm going to just go straight to my 3x4 cards and see what pops out at me from the selection of cards I have. Now, I think I want some red over here. So here's just a straight up 3x4 card that says enjoy today. Could put that there. Or maybe this one. Now I like this one, but I don't like the turquoise and the pink. So I will almost certainly take an X-Acto knife, cut this out, cut these hearts out as well probably, and put a different like black behind it. That's what I decided to do. And then some green in here would be nice. Let's see if I've just got, or yeah, so green. Or I could move this one next to here. Move that one there. This is cream, so it matches nicely with the cream there. It's a little, there's cream on this card, so it's not quite as bad having the contrast between the white and the cream. Yes, I think I prefer how that looks, and it means I don't have to. The cutting out the letters would be fine, but I think cutting out these hearts would be a real pain. So now I'm just looking for green, and there's nothing really jumping out at me. This is a nice colour though, so I'm going to be looking for something to go on there. Right. So this is me almost done. All that's left to do is some journaling. Now I haven't done any journaling with this, so I could do some journaling on this card, about this card, and then point to it with just a little arrow embellishment. And the more I look at this lettering, the less happy I am with it. It just looks not how I want it to. So I think I'm probably going to find different letters and just take these off and chuck them, because you know I'm not liking how this looks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find some different letterings, find some sort of embellishments or what I'm planning to do with this card, and then we can finish up this week. This is the alphabet that popped out at me. It's black but with white scribbles on, and black on black, but I think that it ought to look pretty good actually, because there's so much white on it, and it's sort of quite a distressed scruffy alphabet, which goes with the distressed scruffy polka dot pattern on the back of this. Now I think these need to go even closer together actually, so I'll just move these right in close. Week 6. There we go. Now, there we are. Done. Although now I look at it, it looks weird up here. I think I'm going to try it so that it's having this big gap between the week and the date. Looks weird to me, so I'm going to try moving it all down. There we go. Just try it like this. If I can be careful to peel this off so that I don't damage it at all. So it's a little bit cockamamie there. Yeah, that looks good. That looks much better and much more how I want it to look. So there we go. Week 6. I like how that looks. So I will put that one away, call that one done. And now I went through my collection, and the thing that stood out to me was this little sticker here of a cat, because there's cats in this week, wearing headphones. It's just this one here. Cat wearing headphones. It's so cute. Now I'm going to put it in the bottom of this card, and it's going to go next to this card of me going out jogging for the first time. But I think if I just stick this in the corner, it's going to look weird. So I'm going to make this card have stitching on it. Now I'm going to line it up here. This is a piercing mat I got as a gift, I think, from my mother-in-law, and I'm just going to use the dots on this edge. The dots on that edge. See here? They're dots. To pierce holes in it roughly. And I'm very imprecise and quick about this because I don't want to worry too much about it, especially since, as I'm sure I've mentioned before, I love scrapbooking now more than I ever did because of my two little ones, because scrapbooking them is the best. But it does mean that I'm very lucky my husband will look after the kids while I do a bit of scrapbooking. But it means I can't be as precise as I used to be about some things. And that's okay. I'll just finish up this. There we go. There we go. So there's it pierced. Now I forgot to grab a needle, so I'll just grab a needle. And these are the bobbins that you get. I think this might be from an Amy Tangerine set. Just this. This is just the embroidery thread, and I take 1 arm's worth. If I roll this up to my shoulder, you can see. So I hold it in my hand, and I roll up to my shoulder. There's my shoulder bump, and then I cut it that long. I found that if I'm doing a 3x4 stitching around the outside, that generally tends to be enough length to do stitching around the outside of a 3x4 card. There we go. I like doing the stitching. It adds a bit of detail. And I'm just going to leave the tag here, just to hold on to it with a finger to anchor it. And then at the end, I'll grab some spare washi tape that I have and stick that end down. So I don't knot my thread and then stitch. I prefer to stick it down with washi tape because I think that leaves less of a bumpy edge, makes it flatter for sitting in its pocket. And so since I grabbed these letterings out, these ones here, I'm going to use that to write jogging along the top and then do a bunch of journaling about it. It's been I think it's important for me to journal things like this. It's been a long journey. This time last year I was very much still on crutches and not able to walk after a very difficult time with my second pregnancy. I think I might have liked to have had more than 2 children, but because my second pregnancy was so difficult and I did end up on crutches and unable to walk, and in a huge amount of pain at the end of the pregnancy, we decided that we would stop at 2. And I'm perfectly happy with that decision because my 2 little girls are just the best in the world. But as I say, last year I was on crutches, so I thought there was a chance that things could go very badly wrong with the birth in particular, and I could end up with maybe end up on crutches, you know, permanently basically, or end up with long-term mobility problems, maybe not on crutches, but not really able. So the idea of just doing some gentle jogging around the park, you know, it's just, I'm very, very grateful to be able to do that, because there was a time when I couldn't walk at all. You know, even going to the toilet and back required being on crutches. So I want to journal some of that. I want to journal how grateful I am to be able to just have this mobility, and also what it means for me, because if you see in the pictures, I am overweight. I've at this point lost 8.5 stone, which is 120 pounds or something, from my biggest ever weight several years ago. So when I was, well, my biggest was 25.5 stone. I couldn't have gone jogging then. I was simply too, big. But I still have a ways to go in my weight loss. But, just for today, I'm gonna do a bit of jogging, eat sensibly, and just, hopefully carry on working my way towards a healthy body weight. And increased exercise is a part of that. Like, for me, weight loss, because I was so overweight for a long time, I've just been able to eat less, but now I think I'm going to have to increase my exercise. And I really want my children to be fit and healthy and see that an active lifestyle is normal, because when I was growing up, we didn't do any of that sort of thing. I had a very sedentary sort of lifestyle when I was growing up, a lot of watching TV and reading books and things. We didn't do a lot of physical activity, and as a result, with that and excess food, I was overweight from a very young age, and I really am determined that my 2 girls won't end up with that as their experience of growing up. And I don't really like running. I mean, I don't really like exercising. I find it quite boring. But I did used to like playing badminton, so hopefully when the girl's a bit older, we can do that. Maybe a bit of cycling as well, because we've got some friends who are quite into cycling. But it's really hard. If you're not already into the active lifestyle, it is so difficult to get into it, and just doing this jogging, it takes like a huge amount of effort. So fair play to anyone who can do this, super regularly. It's an amazing achievement in my mind, being able to do any of this. I'm trying to jog like once a week, just a little bit around the park, because I'm not that fit still. I don't even jog. I sort of half jog, half run around the park. But it's better than nothing, and one day we'll get there. So I want to bringing us back to start whispering on about my attempts at losing weight and getting fitter. So here's the card, a lovely bit of stitching around the edging. I used this basic grey stickers, and I want a very small. Oh, this is a 6x4 card. I'm going to see, I think I've got a scrap of this somewhere. There we go, that's not 6x4, that's been cut down smaller. And I just want maybe one, there we go, 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to put a little banner edge on this to underline the title and separate it from the journaling. It's going to go underneath just like that. So I'll grab my glue. It's just gotten obscured underneath my supplies temporarily. Here it is. Grab my glue, run it along, and stick it down. There we go. And here's where I'm going to do my journaling about, those issues that I spoke about just there, like losing weight and trying to be more active, and my gratitude about being able to walk. So some quite heavy stuff, really. But I think, my scrapbook can be a place for me to journal some of these slightly heavier things. I mean, I'm not going to journal anything super personal or private, but I do like to journal these things that matter to me, that are slightly heavier in theme, I suppose. So this is where I'm going to call it this week done, aside from my journaling. And I'm really pleased with, I especially like this card, and with the 1, 2, 3. I like that little story progression. Glad I've been able to use this card because it's been in my collection a long time and I really like it. And it pointing down to this lovely picture of my eldest daughter with her football. So that is where I will call this week, week 6 of 2015, done. That's it for this week's episode. Check out my next video. I upload on Mondays and Thursdays. Or you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, or look up my website, welshbunnies.com. Or you could watch some of my earlier videos if you wanted. Thanks.